know the hopelessness and the isolation, and so to be there when they need us the most, it's so important to me. The view of addiction has evolved over the years, which has been great, and I think that Roanoke has been really on the forefront of seeing things differently in the way that we view substance use. Um, so there was a time where it was, I guess, discovered that we couldn't arrest our way out of addiction, so we had to look for different solutions. This partnership has been, it started, like the idea of it started, I think, around 2018, and it was from SAMHSA, Salem, Roanoke City, the Roanoke Valley Collective Response, and the HOPE Initiative. So it's been a collaboration of community partnerships who have all worked together to try to close the gap of addiction and really find a way that we could all work together for a common goal, because it wasn't very practical or productive to just treat addiction through incarceration. So these have been these have been positive ways of treating addiction that's long-term and more positive too. In terms of a day in the life, so to speak, so working alongside Roanoke City Fire and EMS is an amazing opportunity. Being able to experience what they do on a day-to-day basis has been so enlightening. I have a ton of respect for what they do, so being able to be a part of that is the best part of my job. I've seen the way that they interact with people that are struggling with addiction. They're very kind. They're very gracious. They treat them like they're humans, and so that in itself is very rewarding to see. The way that the Responders for Recovery came, like the philosophy behind it, is that oftentimes if you're struggling with addiction, you tend to not trust authority figures. And that can mean anybody in uniform. And even though Fire and EMS will tell them, we're not the police, you're not in trouble, for a brain with addiction, you like, well, you might not be, but maybe you'll talk to someone that is. And we don't always go forthcoming, to disclose the full severity of addiction with somebody that's in uniform. So the purpose for us is, here we are in plain clothes saying, look, I was right there on that stretcher. I overdosed too. I was in jail. I get it. And so that point of connection is very important. Plus, we are able to say to them too, you're not alone. I know for myself, when I had overdosed, when I was Narcaned back, I felt really scared. I was confused. I was lonely. My family obviously wasn't there, so I really didn't know where to turn. So to have somebody like Jared or myself that's like, you're not alone, we will get through this together. We try to build a relationship with them where it's not just that 15-minute ambulance ride to the hospital, although that's very important. That's where we make that initial connection. But at the HOPE Initiative, one thing that's very important to us is that we stay on this journey with those that are struggling for a year. And oftentimes we're finding that it's not that initial interaction that produces them going to treatment. That's just sort of the beginning part of that journey. We've seen that we'll follow up with them for the first once a week for the first 3 weeks, and then once a month for the next 3 months. And a lot of times in between that initial connection, they'll be like, you know what, I found your card in my shoe, or I think I'm ready now. I can't do this anymore. And so then they know where to turn. And I think that's the most effective part of this partnership.